What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Kava today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. So I want to keep this analysis very easy and simple to understand, right? I'm going to get my face up here. We're going to look at the RSI. We're going to look at the RSI on the weekly basis, and we're going to compare it to a bunch of different charts that look like this. I don't have these charts already mapped out. We're gonna find them together, but we're going to find instances in charts that look like this and see what the aftermath was, okay? Because it's a very kind of specific situation we're in right now. On the weekly aspect, you can see that the price has been in a downtrend. It really hasn't gotten out of a downtrend since September of 2021 there. But the weekly RSI, however, bottomed all the way back here in December of 2022. And it hasn't been putting in higher lows ever since, but we still do have a higher low relative to that. And debatably, you've been shifting your trend in the RSI, right? You went from a downward trend in your RSI to a rather sideways trend, and now potentially you are gearing up for an upwards trend. So let's just keep that in mind going forward. Let's look at Bitcoin under the same kind of scope, okay, on a weekly aspect, and just see if we see anything like that happening, right? So here we are. Last bear cycle, or the most recent bear cycle we had, clear downtrend in the RSI, and Bitcoin went lower still after the RSI had already bottomed out, right? So it changed, the RSI changed its trend back here, right? Changed its weekly trend. Now, was it in an uptrend? Was it not? You know, it was kind of moving sideways. I don't know. Price was still moving down. But then once we got into the overbought areas, and we noticeably had a higher low when the trend was noticeably changed, look at how much more vivacious this move was than this move was here, right? This was figuring things out. We figured things out, moved sideways for a bit, right? It was a rather bullish figuring of things out compared to what we're doing here, right? We've only kind of moved sideways. We haven't had a move up yet. But what followed afterwards, when we did determine that we were in an uptrend, it was the most miraculous move that we'd seen in years on a weekly basis. We go back in time even more with Bitcoin here. Maybe that's not a good example on that one. Let's see. Something like this is a good example too, right? Clearly ended your downtrend here, right? I don't know why I didn't do that. Ended your downtrend here in this area, had a double bottom there, and you started your uptrend here, but did you start moving up right there? You didn't start moving up right there. Your RSI started moving up. You started getting higher lows and stuff, but really this was your sideways movement, right? When you changed the trend in the RSI. And then later, whenever it is established, I think it's roughly established at this low that you are in fact in an uptrend. Was this a rejection off the overbought zone? Were you going to go lower? Were you still in this overall downtrend? Or was this the beginning of an uptrend? And I think with this move up above the 50 here, it certified you were in fact in an uptrend. And with that, you saw a very bullish move and continuation afterwards, right? We look back at Kava. Why is it not letting me? Oh, it's because I have the brush. We ended our downtrend here, right in this area. It's debatable when we started the uptrend. I don't think we've started it yet. In fact, I think this higher low might be the beginnings of what we're looking for the uptrend. Now we're just looking to find a higher low based off of that. Are we in an uptrend yet? You know, and I think that once we certify that this is in an uptrend, which what it would take at least for this moment on the RSI, it would be to move up above the 60. We would need the week to move and close above the 60, showing that not only are you getting into the overbought zone, but you're holding higher lows, and in which we could expect to see potentially higher highs as well forming in this momentary trend here. It might be part of an overall longer phase up, who knows, but just momentarily right now. Sorry guys, it's early in the morning. I'm an asthmatic. Look it up. That's actually a symptom of asthma. It's not common, but it's common for me apparently. I would expect that we are about to break out soon, right? If we move up above the 60, what would that look like in price terms? I would say on a weekly basis, basically if we close above 60 cents, we close above the 60 on the weekly RSI. That's nice. That's pretty easy to remember. Breaking out of this area of resistance right here in this consolidation phase, breaking above the areas of support that we had before right here at about 60 cents as well, you know, like right there. So breaking out of this overall zone, all I'm saying is that would likely gear us up for higher moves, bigger moves than what we've seen in a very long time since this bear market began for Kava, and we see that agreeing in the RSI too. We've seen it with Bitcoin. I'm sure there's other coins. I don't know. What coins should I do? Let's do AVAX, because that's one of those popular coins, yet we haven't talked about it in a while. Okay, similar kind of idea here, I suppose. It's not exactly picturesque, but you can see that you were in a downtrend here in the RSI, right? This one, to be completely fair, I feel like you ended your downtrend. I don't know. Did you end it back here? Because then you kind of moved sideways. I suppose you ended it back here. You kept moving down in the RSI. You changed your trend. You went from a downward trend in the RSI to a sideways trend. And then once you had this low here, which was a higher low, something to build off of that sent you above this high. Once that was established that you were no longer in a downtrend and you were starting something new, that's whenever you had your very bullish phase. It's not as pretty, right? It doesn't look as pretty as this one or as the Bitcoin ones did, but it's the same concept, right? All I'm trying to say is this shift in the RSI, it's a leading indicator a lot of the time. And you can see it, if not from the lows, at least notice it from the highs, right? Lower highs, higher highs, something shifted back here. Nothing shifted in the price. Actually, something did shift in the price, right? We went from a steep decline to a less steep decline. You generally see this on the price action as well, reflected when you're about to change trends and come back up. So I feel like I've beat this over the head. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm going to finish up the video with this thought, okay? If we're going to change the trend here, my thought is, where's the price going to go? And first and foremost, yes, I do believe we're going to see new all-time highs this cycle. Yes, I do. Imagine last cycle, you had the opportunity to buy at this price, and then you caught this move right here. That was an 11x move, okay? We quite literally, were from the exact same price as we are now, right here. And then from May 11th, 2020, that was the halving, Bitcoin halving, to August 17th, 2020, you saw an 11x. That's 3 months, right? Yeah. 3 months' time. That's a lot of growth in a short amount of time. And oftentimes, whenever you have your initial pop here, whenever you break out, whenever you're seeing your first kind of life in the bull market, you do get these rather eruptive moves. Now, am I saying we're going to see the same move? I mean, maybe we see that exact same move. Maybe it takes less time. Maybe it takes more time. But all in all, I would expect some rather ferocious explosion, at least to the golden ratio. And I don't think that's asking for much. I mean, it is asking for much if we look at it very literally, from the current price. That's about 400% to the upside, 520% to the upside. That's definitely a lot of growth in a short amount of time. And I would expect this to be explosive. I don't think it'll take 3 months to get there, maybe a month and a half, actually. But we very well could continue. We very well could continue as we did last time. And maybe it's not a month or a month and a half that it takes for this move to come to full maturity, but it's a couple months, 3 months, something like that. Maybe it's 4 months, who knows? But something on the lines of a near 9x there to about a 12x, almost a 13x there. Anything and everything in between this range is possible. And a lot of coins this cycle have been doing this thing where whenever they break out, whenever they retrace from their bear market downtrend, they do bypass the golden ratio, right? Normally I would expect you stop here, but a lot of coins have been bypassing that and going right up to their 886, 786 area. Now anything can happen, right? You could just go through the moon, but I doubt that. It's very unlikely that you break through the golden ratio and go here. The only reason that I'm acknowledging it at all is because that's what a lot of cryptos have done this cycle, and very quite literally, that's the exact move you made last cycle. Right? That's the exact same move you made last cycle, except this time you've had a longer time to accumulate in this same exact range. You've had a longer time to accumulate. You've got a true double bottom. I have a feeling, a funny feeling, but we'll see. But I think that this next move up will be very similar to this move, but it will be more ferocious. It'll actually be more explosive. It'll happen in a shorter amount of time. That's my thoughts, because it's not price exploration yet. I mean, it's just retracing this big move. And from basically whenever you break out from these points of resistance here, there's no real areas to find resistance at until you get up to this zone here and then this zone here, right? And whenever you're at that zone, that's the 786 to the 886 high to low here. Literally, actually, okay, so that's at the 6.9. So genuinely, I wouldn't expect that you go here, right? I mean, you could stop at the 6.9. There's a reason that line's there. Sometimes you do stop, and that wouldn't be crazy at all. Again, that's like a 520% growth from here, which that's fine. We'll take that, right? But the 786, 886 area would be the next likely stopping point. So truthfully, I guess doing that kind of line analysis, doing the price analysis there, just looking at it without the fibs, that makes me really believe that the breakout target would likely take you up. It makes sense that it would take you here. There's a point of resistance there right at the golden ratio, but it's not as significant as this previous area of support was, that previous area of support there, even a little bit of resistance here on the shelf, right there around that 6.9. So I think that's probably where we're going to go. Something around, if not above, $3 would be my guess. The highest I would give it is $6.18, but more probably around $4.30, $3, something in that range. That's the initial move. Okay, that's not the whole cycle. This last cycle happened in 1, 2, 3 moves, right? I think, what do they call that? That's a there's a name for this actually. I forget what kind of pattern this is. It's an Elliott wave pattern where it gets smaller. It starts off good. Is it an ending diagonal? Not a leading diagonal, or is it a leading diagonal? I forget what it's called. Anyways, who cares? I think the point's been made, right? We're going to move up $3, between $3 and $6, probably more likely somewhere around $4.50 to $3. That's my thoughts. And then at the end of the cycle, I am expecting new all-time highs. So something that's above $24, $86. You're at 47 cents right now. So, you know, at a minimum, what I would expect for this thing is about a 51x. For a minimum, that's phenomenal. That's your minimum expected growth. Your maximum expected growth, I mean, it's multiple hundreds, right? You could be at a multi-hundred X. If we look at Kava here on the market cap, Kava, 511 million. That's not low, but it's not too high to prevent you from seeing outstanding growth. Hold on, guys. Got to clear my throat out, man. I hate it, but it's necessary, you know. 511 million times 100 would be 51 billion, right? 511 million times 100 is 51 billion. So truthfully, I'm not saying it's impossible, but truthfully, I have a hard time seeing you get anything really over about a 200x, right? Which that would be about here. So the 1618, that actually might be a good suitable target for the end of cycle, the $86 range. Now, if you break above $100 billion, you probably could see something all the way up here, right? Get to a multi-hundred billion dollar market cap, but I don't think you would go higher than that, right? 227 to 344 are the absolute maximum given targets that I could possibly fathom for this cycle. That's moon boy land, right? If we want to go to moon boy land, that's where it is. It's not higher. It doesn't go beyond that. You know, it's right there between 227 and 343. If we want to go to Disney World, which is, it actually exists, it's a real place, $86, you know, that'll be a good time, and I think we're going to go there. If we're just, you know, going on a camping trip and it's not even real camping, we're out in the parking lot somewhere, you know, maybe we only stop at $24 to $41, but hey, we're all together, it's going to be a good time, right? That's what matters, that's what counts. But I very much do believe we'll see over 100x in Kava from its current price, potentially even over a 200x. Much past that, I have a hard time seeing. I do accept it could see over $100 billion, but much past $100 billion, I'm having a hard time, right? 200 billion, 300, I don't think so. It could happen. I accept it as a possibility, but then we're talking, you know, that's moon boy area kind of stuff. So I hope I've made the point. I hope this video addresses, you know, where I think Kava is going to go, what I'm expecting of it in the near term, and just why I'm expecting it to. I think it all says it in the indicators here, and you can just see it in the price too, man. You are literally, look up rounded bottom and just tell me what comes up with that, right? Write in the comments, write a nice little definition of what is a rounded bottom pattern, and it's a very long phase of accumulation, a bullish phase of accumulation, very ideal setup for a chart whenever it comes to recoveries, something like that, you know. I don't know. Maybe there's more of an academic way of explaining it than my simple way, but it's the morning here, man. We're just figuring things out. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.